UFC 316, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili is this weekend. It's this Saturday. Something we can actually be excited for, an actual decent event. And in this video, I'll be going through all my picks for the main card, my predictions, my breakdown, expert picks from an expert here. And let's get into the first fight. Woo! All right, since this is a pay-per-view, I will be using the UFC 5 pick section to display the images here, because look at this thing we get here. So first fight is Holland Luque. They give us a nice little tail of the tape. They show us their last 5 fights, their KOs, submissions, overall global pick snapshot. I don't know what that means, some sort of poll, or maybe they're checking the websites for what the odds are. But yeah, Holland versus Luque. I think this is good matchmaking. This is actually a decent matchup. I mean, they're both, as you can see, pretty back and forth in their wins and losses. I mean, Holland's are a lot more. He's fought a lot more, and his wins are more. Actually, you know what? I'll say this: they both have given up in this fight. Holland versus Roman Dolidze, he got injured, but he also gave up. Luque versus Buckley, he gave up. And then Luque has, so his most recent wins are RDA and Themba Gorimbo. He absolutely demolished Themba Gorimbo. I picked against him in that fight because I thought Luque was done after watching him give up against Buckley. That was one of the weirdest finishes I've ever seen. Buckley just sort of, it was a TKO, but it just looked like Luque covered up, didn't want to be in the fight anymore. And then Holland, in his last few, it's Rainier de Ritter, it's Gunnar Nelson, and Ponzinibbio, Roman Dolidze. He's active and he's fighting decent names. Okay, they're at least names of some value. They can't put Holland against a nobody. They're using him as they should, as like sort of promotional. But them versus each other, it's actually it should be a pretty decent fight. I give the edge to Holland, so my pick's gonna be Holland. I think he actually will be able to finish Vicente Luque. I think since Luque's been KO'd and got that brain bleed from Jeff Neal, there's sort of an aversion to damage that he doesn't really want to take those same shots to the head anymore. And I think Holland has the ability to put him down. There is this growing narrative about Holland that he just doesn't doesn't try, that he's not trying. He doesn't have any he'll just give up and be like, I didn't want to win anyway. But I don't agree. I think that growing narrative is going to irk him a little bit, and it's going to give him more of an incentive to actually get these wins. I know he's saying he wants to fight 5 times this year, and all this he's doing his usual Kevin Holland, I don't care, I just want to fight. He's doing this, but he senses this. He wants to get the win. He knows he's good. He has solid wins. When he's fighting at welterweight, he does very well. It's whenever he goes to middleweight that he's shit. So I think that Holland will actually finish Vicente Luque. There is the slight advantage you give to Luque on the ground with those Darce chokes that he has, like he submitted Themba Gorimbo with. But I don't think it's going to get there. I think if we keep it on the feet, it'll be a fun striking matchup. But the reach of Kevin Holland is going to be a factor. The KO potential is more on Holland's side. I feel like the finish potential. I think the long reach and long shots are Holland's going to find the chin of Vicente Luque, and we're going to be looking at a let's go Kevin Holland TKO KO round 2 to play it safe. I think round 1, I think Kevin Holland's going to be a little bit play it safe a little bit. I don't think he's going to go out there crazy, because I feel like there is a bit of this narrative that he doesn't care, and he doesn't get wins, and he's kind of shit. And I think he's gonna go in there knowing that, and he's gonna play it safe, and he's gonna try to get a technical fight. He's gonna try to get the win here. But I think in round 2 he's gonna find that chin, and he's gonna go for the finish, and he's gonna have that finishing capability. So I am picking Kevin Holland round 2 TKO KO. Will it be fight of the night? No. I'm pretty sure the main event will be fight of the night. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that now. I'm not really too iffy on that. So that's the first pick. Kevin Holland to defeat Vicente Luque, round 2 TKO KO. All right, the second fight we'll be talking about is Mario Batista, a.k.a. the absolute supervillain of MMA, the most hated in MMA right now, the most hated in the UFC, the worst guy to ever exist according to the fans, according to everybody. He's absolutely evil. He steps on puppies for fun, and he spits in the face of small children as they're trying to hold balloons and eat ice cream. He's that evil. He's truly despicable according to the MMA fan base. Versus Patchy Mix, who is a Bellator fighter who's very good. I think he was a double champ. I'm pretty sure, or at least defending champion. He left on top, and some would say that he left by his own choice, but the promotion sort of dissolved under the PFL. So, had that not happened, had Bellator been a thriving MMA superpower on its own, I don't think he would have left. I think he probably would have stayed and continued to be champ. But here's the thing: it's different than a lot of these crossovers from different promotions. You know, at least lately it's been a trend that the crossover promotions have been fraud checked, except for Rainier de Ridder. Now, where I draw comparisons between the two is they were both pretty much on top of their game when they left. Okay, Rainier de Ridder I think he had just lost his belt, so he was defending and he had just lost it. And he was a double champ as well. So Rainier de Ridder had success, but these other guys, I mean, who had just get Patricio Pitbull. He was a bit old. He's been out of his prime. I don't think he could live up to the moment. He wasn't champion at the time that he left. But Patchy Mix is, and I think this is going to be a very close to technical fight because as much as everyone hates Mario Batista, he's actually a good fighter. He's actually been in some decent scraps. I mean, it was Damone Blackshear, Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone. He was in decent fights with before the Jose Aldo disgraced, the absolute horrible disgrace the fight that was. I remember watching it. I was screaming too. That fight was awful. I think out of just spite, they shouldn't have given him that. Shouldn't give another win out of principle. We don't want to encourage the absolute disgraceful performance that he put on, holding Jose Aldo against the cage. But yeah, he's actually really good. Okay, you're just to show him with the Amin Zahabi fight. I mean, he's still got it. I mean, Amin Zahabi's pretty good. Jose Aldo's not trash. He's still dangerous. He still can hurt you, and he almost got the finish on Amin Zahabi. So to do that to Jose Aldo there's merit in that, in the sense that it's not an easy feat to do. You have to have a certain level of skill to be able to shut down Jose Aldo. As boring as it was, he's definitely pretty good. So, that being said, I'm going to go with Patchy Mix by decision. And I think it's going to be a technical fight. I don't think it'll be very exciting. I think it's Patchy Mix is probably going to play it safe. I don't think he's going to get the finish. A lot of people are hoping to see Batista out cold, seizing up on the canvas in a pool of his own blood. That's what they want. That's what they're picking. But I think it's just it's wishful thinking. Both these guys are very technically skilled. They're very good bantamweights. And I think it's going to go to decision. It'll be pretty back and forth. I mean, 29-28 probably. I don't imagine a shutdown from either of them. I think whoever wins is going to have dropped the round. It's going to be close, in my opinion, because I think Patchy Mix is very good and he's fought good comp. I think Horiguchi and Sergio Pettis, he's got some good wins in Bellator, and they're decent. Magomedov, I think his name is double Russian name. You know that's got to have some value to it. Name like Magomedov. But yeah, he's definitely has better wins than Batista. I mean, I don't know if they're better. Actually, I won't say that. I retract that statement. They're not better wins. They're comparable wins, because that's probably Patchy Mix was fighting the best of the best outside of the UFC, and Batista's fighting the ranked opposition inside the UFC, and I would say those are comparable. So, but there's a lot more hype around Patchy Mix, and there's a lot more incentive, I feel like, for Patchy Mix to win. I don't think Batista's going to be getting it done here. Batista's on a good run, though, and he's really good. But, yeah, we're going to go with Patchy Mix, and I also don't want him to win. I also hate him. I don't like him. I want to make that very clear. I do side with MMA fans that I hate this guy, and I don't want him to win. And watching him get knocked out would honestly be very satisfying. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a decision. So that is the pick. We're going to go with Patchy Mix by decision. The third fight on the main card is Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. So this fight was supposed to happen, I think it was a couple weeks ago. It was a UFC New Mexico, or not New Mexico, Mexico City card. And in that fight, Joe Pyfer was TKO'd by Mexican food. So they ended up rescheduling it. Pyfer ended up going on a rant about how Mexico's trash and all this, a real Colby Covington-esque. Joe Pyfer's just sort of an insufferable guy. I don't really like Joe Pyfer. He's always complaining about something. He's always whining about something. When he lost to Jack Hermanson, he went on to whine and complain and boo-hoo about all this different crap, and he's always doing something. Literally every time that Joe Pyfer is, a clip of Joe Pyfer is going around, it's him whining and complaining like a little bitch, and I just really don't like Joe Pyfer. He's super, super unlikable. But that being said, Kevin Gastelum's done. I don't think he takes this seriously anymore. I mean, they forced his fat ass back up to middleweight because he kept missing weight at welterweight. And he was losing those fights anyway. I mean, he got a decision over Chris Curtis. I thought Chris Curtis won that fight. Got submitted by Sean Brady. He won a decision over D-Rod after missing weight, and just it was clear that, like, he didn't even try to attempt to make weight in that. He knew he did some shady shit with D-Rod because he knew he was gonna miss weight. Didn't tell D-Rod till the last second so he could have that big weight advantage. But they forced him back up to middleweight, and this is sort of his punishment. So I'm gonna go with Joe Pyfer, and honestly, I think. Nah, it's going to be a decision. Kevin Gastelum's got that unfinishable build, you know. He could get submitted, but he's not going to get KO'd, and I think that's where Joe Pyfer is going to... If he's going to get the finish, it's going to be a KO. Do I think he's going to get KO'd? He did just KO Andre Barrio, and he seemed like he had a pretty tough chin. I'm going back and forth. Actually, we're going to change it. We're going to go to a TKO KO round 3, and it'll be a TKO round 3. I think he actually will be able to break Gastelum. Now that I'm thinking about it, Gastelum's fat, and he doesn't take it seriously, and he's just going to try to grapple heavy in the beginning rounds. I think he might even be able to take the first from Joe Pyfer, being able to bring him down. But I think the power difference will be the factor in this. And Joe Pyfer's pretty big, and he's younger, and it's just, yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy thinking about that. It's going to be a TKO KO round 3 for Joe Pyfer. I believe it'll be a TKO. I think the power, he's going to drop him, and then he's going to go for the finish, or he'll hurt him bad to the body, maybe to the head, and he's going to pour it on and get the finish in the 3rd round. So, yeah, that's that pick. Insufferable guy, though. I put Kevin Gastelum. Hold up. There we go. Joe Pyfer, insufferable guy. I really don't like Joe Pyfer. He's annoying. He's always saying something. But yeah. All right, that is the pick. Joe Pyfer, TKO, KO, round 3. Fuck out. That fucking hurt. If you are what you say you are, superstar. All right, on to the co-main event, Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. I usually would be saying something about who cares and all this, but we just had the press conference, and it was a boring, horrible press conference. But you know who are the only two fighters actually attempting to make anything interesting? Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison. We've come to the point where they were carrying the promotion for this event. I'm not going to lie. They're actually going back and forth, as cringy as it was, as unfunny as it is, as delusional as Juliana Pena is, they brought the most interesting back and forth for a fight where there feels like there's actual stakes. I mean, Joe Pyfer just went on a racist rant about Mexico, so there's that. Patrick Mixon Batista, everyone hates Batista, so that's that narrative. Kevin Holland didn't get to say anything besides interrupting Sean O'Malley at the press conference because Sean O'Malley's boring on the mic. So Kevin Holland tried to help him out there, and O'Malley immediately folded on what his point was. I think he was talking about someone asked him if it was just an off night or if it's a better thing he just needed an extra fight. So in this rematch, he'll know what Merab was doing, or he just had an off night. And Kevin Holland's like, "Fuck that! You had an off night." After Sean O'Malley was trying to say, "No excuses," and then O'Malley immediately like, "Yeah, it was an off night." So boring on the pay-per-view, so boring on the mic. But anyway. Pena and Harrison were actually going back and forth. They were talking a little bit of shit. Pena's claiming, this and that. How are you gonna beat me? You're gonna lay on me for 5 rounds. And Harrison's, how are you gonna beat me? You have no path to victory. Which is true. I don't think Juliana Pena has a path to victory. So that leads into my pick, which is Kayla Harrison by decision. Because they don't get finishes. They don't get finishes. It's just real. It's real. Juliana Pena doesn't really have the toolkit to beat Kayla Harrison. I feel like Kayla Harrison's going to be way too manly, gonna manhandle Juliana Pena. You feel what I'm saying? She's gonna manhandle her because Kayla Harrison is strong. Okay, she's clearly very strong. She looks like she's on steroids. Okay, this is the thing. She's not. She went to the Olympics and was tested and blah, 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 and she's been training since she was fucking 2 years old. But she looks like she's on steroids. If you were to ask any random person on the street and look at her and be like, is this person on steroids? You would say yes. The average person would look at that and be like, yes, she's clearly on steroids. So it's the strength thing. She showed some flaws in the Ketlen Vieira fight. She made that close. She ended up getting the win, but it was still close. So there is a chance that Pena is going to fraud check her. But here's the thing. I don't think that Pena is the best bantamweight on the roster. I think that's Raquel Pennington. And then if you talk about the best bantamweight in the world, it's Amanda Nunes still, even though she's not active. We might see her coming back. There's a little bit of rumors that she's coming back. But she's not the best women's bantamweight, and I think that's pretty clear. And I think Kayla Harrison is actually working to be that. I know Pena works hard, but she's delusional. She's just delusional. She goes out there with the most god-awful striking, the legendary Pena Blitz, which is just... It's just awful. I mean, she just runs at her, noodle arms, no form, running while throwing her little blitz. It's not going to work. Kayla Harrison at least attempts to be technical on the feet. She attempts it. I mean, I don't know. This is not the fight itself. I'm not super hyped about. I think Harrison will probably defeat her. I think she'll get her down. I think she'll be able to put on ground and pound. I think Pena's going to get damaged up. I don't think Pena has the ability to damage Kayla Harrison, I think is my main point. And Pena likes to talk like, oh, what's Kayla Harrison's plan to lay on her? What is her plan? I think that's exactly what Pena's plan is. She's not planning to hurt her on the feet. I think she's planning to take her down and get control time. Because I don't think she's able of putting damage on Kayla Harrison, whether it's on the ground or on the feet. So, yeah, I'm going to go by based on who could hurt the other person. I think Kayla Harrison has a way better chance of actually hurting Pena, putting on damage, and then winning on the scorecards. So that is the pick. Kayla Harrison by decision. Fight of the night? No. Also, Pena lost to Raquel Pennington. She shouldn't have this belt. This belt is just, it's laughable at this point. It's Nunes's belt, and besides that, the best one on the roster is Pennington. And then we'll see if Kayla Harrison's on the level as Pennington, because I think that should be the next fight they make immediately after is Kayla Harrison versus Raquel Pennington. If Kayla Harrison's a lot better than Pena, or if she makes it close and wins, then we'll see that they're on the same level. But yeah, screw that. On to the next one. Now, on to the main event, what we're all excited for. As much as they don't promote it and as Sean O'Malley is a wet paper bag on the mic, it's still the most hype fight on the card because Sean O'Malley grew up. Ladies and gentlemen, over the year that he's been off, he's grown up. He stopped smoking weed. He stopped gooning. He stopped dyeing his hair. He basically had the grow up that everyone has after middle school and high school and when they turn into an adult, but he's having it at 30 after being a dad. He has a kid who's like 5 or something. He's been a dad for like 5 years. He's finally grown up, everybody. Yeah, so I think that's what makes this most interesting. He said he quit social media. He quit doing all the negative stuff and put all his focus into fighting. And I don't think he wins. I think this will probably be very similar to the first fight. I think Merab's pressure and his wrestling ability is just going to be able to take O'Malley down for certain rounds and hold him down. I think O'Malley will have a better time at letting his punches fly, because I think he was a bit reserved in the first fight. He was worried about that takedown. I think he'll be less worried this time around, and I think he may even be able to get up after Merab holds him down. After Merab gets him down, he may have a better time getting up. But I think the problem with that is Merab's not gonna let up. If O'Malley gets up, Merab will be right back on that takedown. He's not worried about shooting whatever amount of shots in the 5 rounds. He's not worried about it, and I think it's much more likely that Merab is going to be able to hold him down than it is O'Malley is going to knock him out, because I still feel like that is the path to victory for O'Malley. I know there's some people, a small group of people, saying that O'Malley could beat him on the scorecards in that first fight, but I don't really see that. I think when on the night you're watching it, it was very clear that Merab was the better fighter, and I don't know if just cutting out all these things out of his life, smoking weed and beating the schmeat, I don't think that's gonna increase his ability of his cardio. Maybe it will a little bit, but it's Merab's just superhuman at this point. I'm really high on Merab. He's coming up on being one of the greatest of all time. He gets this win. Who's next? Corey Sandhagen. He gets that win. Then he's cleaned out the division. Then that's everybody. So I think Merab's just still a lot better than him. I think that Merab's going to be able to. His pressure is just going to be too much. As much as I'd love O'Malley to win, I mean, this is better for excitement in the division. Merab's not boring or anything, but it would be better for the excitement of the division to have O'Malley win, and then they do a trilogy. Highlight real KOs. O'Malley go back to smoking weed and dyeing his hair and being all that funny guy, crazy funny guy in the news, funny guy champ. I like O'Malley, but I don't think he's done enough to change the outcome. I think it'll be very similar. Yeah, but I mean, there's always the chance of the knockout, and I think there's more of a chance for the knockout because he's just getting another shot at it. He's getting another chance to knock Merab out, which he can do. It's shown he's very capable. His striking is so fun. O'Malley's style is just so fun to watch. I mean, how can you not enjoy watching an O'Malley fight and someone who fights like him, going for the finish with dynamic striking, just crisp boxing and kickboxing and spin kicks and all this stuff? It's so entertaining to watch. But yeah, Merab is just built different, caveman type shit. Lock in, take him down, shoot another takedown, blitz forward, all this stuff. So yeah, that's the pick. I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili by decision, and I think this could be fight of the night. We could actually see this one. I think this one's going to be more entertaining. That's the thing. I think it'll be more back and forth. I think O'Malley will be able to get more damage off on Merab, but I still think it'll be Merab winning the majority of the rounds by taking him down and holding him there and just putting on the pressure. So, yeah, excited for this event. I mean, that's it. That's the picks for the main card. I'll be streaming this on Twitch to my watch along. It's going to be in the description. You'll get all my picks for the undercard, the prelims right before the fight starts. We'll be there from prelim 1. I do it every weekend. I do it every Saturday. Prelim 1 to the main card, so you can get all my expert predictions. Okay. All right, that's it. I'm excited. I mean, we finally have a good event after this absolute hellstorm of Apex events. We have something good, and we're not going back to the Apex for a while. So, happy MMA fan, happy UFC fan. All right, that is the end of the video. I'll catch you in the next video. I'll do the recap of this on Sunday or Monday, and catch you on Twitch. All right, goodbye.